Welcome to the commodity section. Here we're looking at gold on a weekly chart, just to have a look at the bigger picture here. And we're pretty much looking at this market moving down to the top of previous wave 3 here, which is pretty close to the 1,000 mark here. And we know that we're in wave 5 here. Well, we're not quite sure about that either, because it's a little bit like the Euro that I mentioned this morning as well. From wave 4 here, we've got like a clean 3 waves down, but we don't have further down here. So there was always and still is the possibility that wave 4 here can be an A wave to here, a B wave in 3 waves, and then a C wave here in 5 waves, and then we go down from here. So that's a possibility. So this we've had weakness overnight here, and I just want it can move down from here now. That's what I'm trying to say, but I can't confirm that either just yet, and that's what we want to have a look at now. So on the daily chart here, we can see that we've got a nice trend line cutting through the tops here. So it's really forced that selling to the downside. As I mentioned, this low here can be a B wave, and we get some sort of C wave back up through here, much the same as the A wave here, basically an A and a B and a C wave here. So we need confirmation that this is actually going to be failing down here, and we're going to continue in this trend of the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 down through to here. So it's possible, but like I said, just because we had that move down overnight, it can't be confirmed. If you're looking for a short, well, then you're probably better off looking at silver. It's a bit weaker, but just drilling in here somewhat, what we were looking for on this particular bounce off the 12, or roughly the 1200 here, is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, a 5, 3, 5 structure, and that's possible, and it could be completed, because our target was up at the 1272 here. Didn't quite get to our target, but the breaking of the 1250 here, the midpoint here, cements in that there's certainly a larger corrective pattern unfolding here. So I can't confirm that we've got 5 waves down here just yet. What we've got is 3 waves down and not 5. So 3 waves down means that it's bullish corrective, but looking at this strong little third wave in the middle here, as it normally is, then it's highly likely that we'll get 5 waves down. If we do get 5 waves down, then we'll get a counter trend, and then we'll get another 5 down. Okay, so, and that sort of leads us into it. And in terms of using the levels, while the market's above group 1, the 1230 in this case, then the market is really supported. We normally turn bearish when the pivot within group 1, the number 2, becomes the retested resistance, because it is the main support here, and it normally is as well in most markets. So we need that as resistance. The orders will pull to 1200 here like a magnet, but not only that, it will increase a bias of selling from that point, and we'll see lower grounders there as well. So the 220 as retested resistance is the first key to having new lows play out through here. But what we want to do in terms of trading is we want to get a clear 5 waves down, then allow the counter trend to come into play, and then look for the shorts on this side. It's very difficult shorting into group 1, because it might not be too bad if we are in a third wave at this stage, but normally coming down into, and this was a third wave here, but normally coming down into group 1, because all the orders are normally gathered around the whole numbers, the 30, the 20, and the 10, and because they're all close, you see a lot of bouncing going on through here. Let's just drill in a little bit further through here. This is the count that I've got so far. As I mentioned, it's only 3 waves down so far, but we're looking for 5. So the blue waves here, the 1, the 2, the third wave here, and inside the third wave got the extension. We'll be looking for 5 waves in there, then the fourth and the fifth, then we've got wave one, and then we'd be looking for a counter trend in wave two here, coming back up to the 50 or 60% retracement level, but we'll look at supply levels coming through here as such. And this move up through here, if we break that down on the 5-minute chart, that will be 5 waves in here, 3 waves in here, and 5 waves in there. And then what we wait for is we wait for the first 5 waves to come down through here, then the counter trend here in 3 waves, and then we look to short at that point through here, start building in the trade to the downside. I don't know if I've got it on a smaller chart. I do indeed. Yeah, this is sort of where we are really. So you can just sort of take that in your own stride. And so we're looking at this as being a wave 4, and then moving lower through here from wave 4 into wave 5 here. That's still got a bit more to play out through here. So this wave 4 here, that's still looking a bit big actually. I might have to, no, that's okay. Still, I'll just leave this count here for the time being, and this would be as such here. So still a fair bit to go till we get to this wave 1 here, and then we'll look for wave 2 here. So in a session or two, we'll be looking to short that, but we need confirmation first. That's why we need to see this thing finish down to here, then get 3 waves back up here, and then we'll look to short from that point. Okay, the base metals are a little bit stronger. As you know, we've been looking at from wave 3 to wave 4 here, and we're looking for been a bit sluggish in terms of looking for wave 5 up through here. As I mentioned yesterday, this is lingering on a little bit, and I particularly don't like that too much. But the wave structure itself within here is positive, because we've got this move up here in 5 waves, and we've got this ABC here in 3 waves. That makes it bullish, and that top should be taken out. So then we get the next move up through here in 5 waves, and then we've got this counter trend here, and then we've got this move up here. So all things being equal, it should move up, and yeah, well, let's just sort of wait and see. One of the confirmations, of course, is the 335, the midpoint becoming the support here as well. So let's see how we go with that. The bearish side is obviously the 330 being taken out through here, but as mentioned, as it stands, it's looking to the upside. The oil market is we've had a slight change in this as well. But so this here, we're looking down here for wave 1, and then we're looking for a counter trend in to 95 as an ABC, but we've had to change that structure because we've got this move up through here. So now we're looking at this as the A wave to here, the B wave to here, and the C wave up here to finish it. Now, I'm a little bit I've always been a bit concerned about this particular count to this point here being wave 1, because when I look at the Brent chart, I'm going to look at this in the daily chart here. I'm just going to bring this across here, and without going too far back and looking at bigger structures, all I wanted to point out here was that this particular move down here is in 5 waves, and then we've got the B wave and then the C wave here. So basically we've got a 3-wave counter trend here, and then we should see that top come out. Now this is moved up in 5 waves here, so that's all good. So that would be a wave 1 up here, and this is moved back as an A and a B and a C here as a possible wave 2. So if that's the count, then we should see further upside from here really, because this is the A, the B and the C, then this is up for wave 1 here, and then an A and a B and a C here for wave 2 here, and then we'd be looking for wave 3, way up here somewhere, taking this high out here. So I'm quite interested in this particular point here and how this sort of develops here. So if that's the case, then this particular low here may be the case as well, where we see not a corrective move up, but a much stronger move up in terms of a 5-wave structure to this point here as wave 1, and then an A and a B and a C here for wave 2 here. And then if this pushes up really strong from here, like it's got a, this would be like a wave C here, that kind of, struggling sort of angle. But a wave 3, if it moves up, in this sort of stead, then we know that we're on wave 3. So it might be worth a purchase once we get this ABC across the 95 working properly. Within that, looking at that, just drilling into it, textbook stuff, this is what we would see here coming back to the 50, 61.8 retracement area. We would see an A and a B and a C to make this larger B wave up. There would be 5 waves in here, 3 in here, and 5 in here. However, it's not all textbook stuff, so we just need to be flexible and also allow some type of correctional pattern to mature across here. And if we see it as support, then we can move up from that point. So it may only come back to this point. It may just go more sideways across here, depending on the strength of it. But it does leave in one way or another, it does leave the oil market to the upside. So the OSH, the oil stocks, maybe WPL in the bigger picture, so to speak. You'd have to give that plenty of room though, and it should push up looking at its structure. So, but look anyway, pretty much sell gold, buy oil in that one foul swoop. The grains. Okay, the soybean market here, and just looking at the daily chart here, and in the big picture, this whole move and I don't have it on this particular chart here, but we were looking at this being a monstrous sort of B wave coming down here, and then a C wave moving further up here. And if that's the case, that would be up for 1 and back for 2. And continue moving up through there. But to confirm that, we want to get support. We want to see this, continue in here and then break to the upside here. Overnight, we've seen it move to the downside. That's okay because it hasn't found any of this as resistance just yet. So as that moved up there, we weren't gunning to get in as such, because we knew that we'd be hitting resistance, and this is playing out now. So we just still need to wait until it develops further. But in having a look at that through here, the move that we've got down through here is only in 3 waves so far. So if we look at that in terms of down for 1, back for 2, down for 3 here. So we'd have to see 4 and we'll see 5 here. If we get 5 waves there, then we're going to get a counter trend here, pulling back, maybe checking that number there. And then if that's because we got 5 here, then we'll get another 5 over here. So either way, this is going to come in here as support and see that bounce back up here. So we'll look to glean something in here and look to add at each whole number through here if that's going to be the case, because this market will move strongly one way or the other, and we're just sort of sitting there observing it, waiting for the starting gun to go off. Okay, the wheat market, we've been short in this, and the last position was at 565. What we're looking for now is 560 to become the retested resistance. We can expect it to bounce off that, which it has once, and probably do it again. But anyway, that's what we're looking for. We need that 560 to become the retested resistance there. The corn market, just the daily chart here. I'm still a bit hopeful this market can push up. I know the other grains are moving down and so forth, but spikes have happened before here as well. But because we've got this 4th wave here, it's probable that it's possible that it can push up, but we're not going to be sort of lured into it until we get that 530 as a retested support, or it's simply a break higher than that previous high here. We can take that through here. And we don't want to short it into the 400 here while we're in Group 1. So shorting into Group 1 is not the done thing, as you can see here how bumpy it can all get, and that can continue, and that's normally the case. So that's why we don't short into Group 1. We always wait for it to find the closest largest number. In this case, the 400 here is a retested resistance. So look, not a lot going on here unless that 430 gets breached as such. The 420, if it becomes the resistance here, then it's highly likely that it will be pulled down to the 400 and lower from that point there. The orange juice, still not this A wave down through here is fine. Looking for the B wave to pull back up to supply or the 50% level, then wave C to come down, and we'll take it from there. Now you can short wave C if you want to, especially if commodities are weaker. Let me just see here. Well, it's a little bit tricky because I don't fully trust this particular spike here, by the way. And if I don't trust that, then this move down through here is in 3 waves here. And I don't trust that spike either. So really it's just an A and a B and a C here. So, yeah, not a lot to do. Technically, if support comes on the 143 here, then you can go long. So you would just take out this, you go long on this high here and look to add here, but we're still, I wouldn't overtrade because we're going into 5 being the second strongest number and there's a lot of supply there. But if it found support on that, you could add to that point. It does appear that it will move up here further because this does look impulsive to the upside here, but it's just a little bit hard to read. I mean, our main trade here is to find the 150 as support, but we're still away from that there. So nothing really sort of happening in the commodity section as such, but we do have oil to the upside and gold to the downside, and wheat to the downside as well. All right, cheers.